Welcome back to On the Record. We're here at the CompTIA Breakaway show, and I'm here with Kelly O'Bray, who is the Canadian sales manager for GFI. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully at the end of this we'll say that we'll both say that that was good and we'll do it again.
Perfect.
So we have to make sure. So tell me a little bit about what GFI, their background's pretty interesting and how it all came together.
GFI has been in the software business for over 20 years. Started out as a traditional software company doing things like fax servers, spam filters, mail archiving, security for networks using products like LANguard. And over the last number of years, through a series of acquisitions and development, we've built more of a cloud-based infrastructure. So GFI Max Remote Management is a cloud-based remote monitoring and management tool. GFI Max Mail Protection and Mail Archive or spam filtering from the cloud. And we just launched GFI Cloud, which is a cloud-based administration tool for some of our traditional software, like Viper, which is an antivirus product, as well as it has some monitoring and alerting capabilities.
So are most of the customers that you're selling to be managed service providers and cloud providers?
Most of the Max products, or all of the Max products, are targeted specifically at IT support companies. Some of them talk about themselves as being managed service providers, some of them are break-fix operations, but they are both trying to get into a recurring revenue model with their customers, and GFI Max gives them the tools to be able to do that.
Sounds good. So what makes GFI, if I was, let's say I'm sitting there on the cusp, thinking about trying to sell to my customers who are all, I want them all to go into the cloud, what makes you a good choice?
But GFI is different than lots of other people in the space in that it's very simple and easy to get up and running. So you'll be up and running in about 10 minutes.
I like simplicity.
Yep. Because it's cloud-based, there's no requirement to install hardware and software on the MSP or the IT support organization's network, so they can do everything directly from any internet-based device. And what makes GFI Max specifically different than lots of the others is the tools that are embedded to do the things that they need to do are all GFI products. So the patching is done by GFI LANguard, which is a GFI product. The antivirus is done with GFI Viper, which is a GFI product. The take control, which is the ability to remotely connect to the client's computer, is done using TeamViewer. So these are all tools that have been brought to the forefront through the GFI Max console that delivers everything that the MSP needs to manage that client. And they're all closely integrated because it's all built by the same company.
So you're out there and you're talking to people who haven't gone into the cloud yet for the most part, and most of them are probably not done managed services yet, and you're trying to convince them. So here's what I want you to do, and I should have asked you, so I should have given you some time to think about it, but I haven't.
Sure.
I want you to give me a sales pitch. If I was that person, I've been a VAR for 20 years now, and I'm saying, ugh, this cloud stuff and this managed service stuff, it's all a bunch of BS. How are you going to sell?
Well, the trend in the industry is to move the business away from a break-fix model to a managed service model. And really all that is saying that we're going to change the way that we're going to work with our clients. And so instead of it working where the client has something that's broken, they call you, you need to fix it, you're going to manage that infrastructure so some of those breaks don't happen. And if they do happen, they continue to pay the same monthly bill each month so the client doesn't get sticker shock when they have a server that needs to be worked on for 4 to 6 hours.
So hold on, you mean that when I come in and they beg me to come in at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're so thrilled to see me, but then the next morning when I'm still there and fixing it, they're going to be upset with me because they're saying, oh my goodness, how much is this going to cost me?
The traditional break-fix model is one where the client calls you when they're unhappy, and then you're happy when the client calls, and so you're almost on opposite sides of the transaction. When you move into a managed service environment, you move around the same side of the table as your client, where you're happy when the network's up, and so are they. And so you're both working towards the same goal. This increases customer satisfaction, it reduces some of the sticker shock, and it gives you the ability to kind of grow beyond the technology guy that they call when they need things fixed, to a guy that can help them build strategic applications for their business and help them grow their business rather than just provide technology.
What I always tell people is, if you're you, you, the industry has been so mean to the, if you think about it, to the VARs over the years, where they don't get paid for half of the work that they do, and they have the problem with, when they do want to charge, that people don't want to pay it, and if a product, like all these problems, and they never know when they're going to come up, so they can't plan a life. Now all of a sudden, they're moving into an environment where they can control their lives, they can see what's going to break ahead of time, not 100% of the time, but most of the time. They can fix it before there's ever any problem. They're getting recurring revenue so that they can wake up on January 1st if they're really smart and say, wow, I've already made enough money for the whole year. And now that doesn't mean they can't work, because they have to keep doing it. There's just so many more advantages for them.
There's lots of advantages. Part of the reason why people aren't doing more of it is it's not as simple as just buying a technology and then telling your customers you're going to bill them monthly. There's a different value proposition, and there's a different sales process. Absolutely. And so there's a transition that has to happen within any IT support company that's looking to go down this path, where they need to either change their sales process or at least change their value proposition. And in a lot of cases, if the owner's not directly involved in that process, it's difficult to translate that down to a sales rep. And so one of the biggest challenges that our industry has, and one of the things places like CompTIA tries to address by providing some pretty decent content on how to do that.
Terrific. It was a pleasure having you on there, Kerry, and hope to see you again.
Thanks for having me.